All right, welcome. February business meeting. Let's get down to business. I ain't got no time to mess around. What is this? Bit of Eminem relived there. So Vicky's having a good laugh because it's just me and her in this room. It's quite funny. Placements strategy. That's going to be the bulk of this business meeting. And we're just going to go through the basics through to some more of the advanced stuff, and talk a little bit about empowered success, which is replacing live, share, build. doTERRA has acquired live, share, build, or share success, and they're integrating that as their own a vehicle, I guess, for sharing business opportunity and also using oils, etc., getting the most out of your wholesale account. We'll chat a little bit about convention, what to expect, and then touch on my mate, Dr. Susan Lawton, as well. This actually works really good because you're right there, right behind the camera, and every time I'm just going to be looking right.
Don't worry about me.
Yeah. So January, pretty quiet month, but we can expect that on record. It is the quietest month of the year, so I don't know about you guys, but did everybody else experience a pretty quiet month this month? Yeah. Yep. Cole's got a hand up. A couple of people have blacked out their screens, but that's fine. We'll just take that as a general consensus that it was a quiet month. Everybody's just recovering from Christmas and school holidays and all that sort of stuff, so it's pretty understandable. So top enrollers, there's still people enrolling, which is great. Kylie Davies, Alicia Wenner, Go Team Vicky. Yeah. Joe York, Jill Ford, and Beth Campbell. Well done, guys. Still enrolling in January, so great work. Okay, so down to business, placement strategy. So the 14-day move, what is it? Basically, you get 14 days, including the day that you enroll someone, to change their sponsorship or to move them into your downline. And so you might be saying, no, where do I move them? So you want to move them based on a couple of things. We're going to be discussing those. Community, relationships, where you need volume is something to also consider as well, but you also got to think long term. And then we're also going to talk about qualifying, which is really important to do during that 14-day period, to get a good understanding or idea of where you think these people are going to grow best and work best for you as well. Because ideally you want people that are real movers and shakers, and building a business to be on your top line. So how do you know where to move them? So we do our best with this qualification, and also consider where they would best fit, grow, and flourish as well. Well, a big part of it as well is also acceptance, learning from the experience, and moving on and just growing where you're planted to. It is the most strategical and variable and tricky thing to do in the business. And sometimes you just got to go with your gut and go, yep, I think this is going to happen, because you don't get to ask those questions, or you're not really getting a good idea, a good gauge of where they're at and where they'll grow best. So first and foremost, how do you move them? This is just real basic. Sponsor changes 101. I've just got a short little video here.
Log into your doTERRA virtual office at www.
Sorry. Just hear someone shuffling. Everybody shuffling.
MyDoTERRA.com. Once you have logged into your virtual office, you will automatically be taken to your Shop tab. Click on the Team tab in the top portion of your screen. In the upper left-hand portion of your screen, you will notice a section called My Business. In this section, you will have access to several tools that will help you understand important aspects of your team. Click on the Sponsor Changes link. In this screen, you will be able to simply make sponsor changes to any new personally enrolled wellness advocates as long as it is done within 14 days of the enrollment. Input the changes that you would like to be made and click on the Verify button. Once it has been verified, you can click on the Confirm button.
Okay, so ignore the name there being used. Some people may have seen it, some people may not have. Last name Hunt, first name Mike. I'm not sure who did the video, but anyway. The important part of that video is just how basic it is to do the sponsor changes. Just go to Team, Sponsor Changes, and then put the ID of a person that you're going to be moving this person under, your new enrollee. So where to place them? So some things to consider first and foremost, grouping communities of people. A good approach you can use is the Ford method, so family, occupation, recreation, dreams. So considering all of those things of where they actually align with others, we've got a family leg in our organization. And then we also have other organizations where there's other like minds. So aligning people where they're going to work best with others is, the best piece of advice that I can do in terms of considering longevity in building relationships with your placements and people that you're building in your tree of love. So consider, beliefs, energy, interests, and relationships as well. If you're putting somebody into an organization or a part of your tree with super high energy, that's just not going to align well with somebody who's going about their journey with grace and ease, and they're just going to bug them. Maybe that's not such a good idea. You want to put them in another high energy area of your organization where they're going to work better with those people. So qualifying, this is the most important part about getting an idea of where to place people in your organization. So we talk about the doorways of openness, which is something that was put together by the team at Edge Success. Seth Reisame is one of the guys that's been involved with that. He talks about the pipes video. That's what he's famous for. So would you be open to is pretty much the opening line that you can ask anybody for just learning about essential oils. Would you be open to learning more about natural solutions for the family home? Would you be open to trying a sample? But then you can also use that would you be open to for sharing the opportunity. Would you be open to sharing the oils with friends, earning your oils for free, or perhaps looking at the income opportunity that doTERRA presents? And just by owning that question and asking that question, you're not being pushy. You're not, pushing someone into a corner and saying, oh, you have to do this business. It's just a choice. We're purely just offering people a choice. And if they say no, that's fine. Because remember, 85% of your team, of your organization will be made up of loyal users, people who just love the product. They're on the Loyalty Rewards program and they're getting the benefits from the essential oils. So as long as you go into this realizing that not everybody is going to say yes, and don't get disheartened when people don't respond and go, yeah, I want to host a workshop. I want to share with my friends, or yeah, I'd love to build a business with you and let's have a look at the income opportunity. That's going to happen, but it's to be expected. But there will be people that say yes. And if you don't ask, then you don't know. So always share the opportunity, and you can start by sharing it inside of your intro courses or your EO 101s. And you can just touch on it and just say, look, you can just leave the product, you can share the product, subsidize your income, or you can build a business like I am. It's completely up to you. So once they give you a response to that question or those questions, then it gives you a really good idea of how you can categorize them. And this is taken from the launch guide. So you can see that that diagram there that you've got. So you've got ones, twos, and threes. Ones are committed and capable builders. So it's great to be committed, but it's also really important to be capable as well. And another thing to chuck in there is coachable, because you could be committed, capable, but if you're not coachable, then you're going to struggle teaching the concepts of network marketing, especially if somebody's new to network marketing. So they're all things to consider in placing these people in this $1 million real estate. So where you see the ones there, the yellow, the green, and the blue ones on the top line underneath you, that is $1 million real estate. And the reason we call it $1 million real estate is because if you get your qualifying placement correct from the start, and you're putting people in there that are committed, capable, and coachable builders, then that's going to be the difference of tens of thousands of dollars in the long term, as you continue to grow your business and your team. Because if you have people down, lower than say levels 4 to 5 at lowest, then you're not going to get all that uni level bonus. So people that have been in the business for long term, that have done the difference, the calculations between people in that $1 million real estate that are the people that you're working directly with, being on the top line and lower in your organization is huge. So we want to make sure that we get the right people in these positions. And I'm going to talk a little bit about a strategy of how to get people in these positions as well. And then you have twos and threes. So we're not discounting these twos and threes. Remember, 85% of the people in your organization are going to be users. And then another huge portion, let's just say probably more than 10%, are going to be people that are just sharers, active sharers or casual sharers. They're also committed and capable. They're committed to 100 PV LRP. They're capable of hosting a workshop or referring friends to your events and to you. And then, of course, we have the threes. So the people who are just casually sharing, maybe referring friends, coming along to your events with a friend, and just using the product. So they're on the lower, they're on the bottom end of our organization. But remember, these are the people that are holding us up, and there's mostly threes in our organization. So, it doesn't mean that they get a lower priority in terms of your energy. It's just purely the structuring strategy. So once you get a gauge, when you ask that question, are you open to sharing with your friends or looking at the income opportunity? You're going to get a good idea of this person, and there's a certain amount of assessment on their personality, on their ability to be able to share effectively. You might have somebody who's just, oh yeah, all my friends I'm telling all my friends, and I've already given out oils, and so that person's going to be at least a number two. And then you might have somebody who has experience in network marketing or business, or you just know that they're a well-organized, driven, capable person who wants this, and they're number one, and they can go on your top line. So yeah, just be really mindful of that $1 million real estate and where you actually place people in the organization at the level. So the success strategy, I know I rattle on about this, but we did bring this into place based on experience of qualifying people. And when you do go through, when somebody does say, yeah, I am interested in sharing the oils or looking at the income opportunity, that's when you go through the success strategy and the build guide. And one of the main reasons we love and use the success strategy is because it gives people a good idea of their the expectations of us and from us. So it's a two-way street. It's not just, oh yeah, I'll put 100 PV in each month, and Byron, Renee, or Vicky, or Jody, or Margie, or whoever is going to build my team for me. There's still things that you need to do. So that really just paints the picture of what's required, depending on which pathway you choose. This also holds people accountable as well. So if the situation arises in the future where they've said they want to be, a number 1 or a number 2, and you thought within your very soul that you were making the right choice when you were doing your structuring, that this person was going to be in a number 1 or a number 2 position, but it just didn't work out, you can actually go back to your success strategy and say, remember, we looked at this and we discussed what was required, what you're going to get from me, what you need to do. And if it's a situation where they just want to drop off LRP, etc., then that it does provide a bit of grounding to look at and discuss some options. You also get your first steps on the back of the success strategy, which is a great place to get started because there's a lot of noise out there, and it's good to have good information, the right information. So moving along from qualifying, I wanted to discuss a couple of strategies in terms of apart from your 14-day move. So 14-day move, very, very important. Always do it. So, so important. There are a couple of other options. So we spoke about $1 million real estate and how or a strategy that you could use for some of these key positions, because remember, you're building 2 legs to start walking and running towards Premier. That's what you want to prioritize, not building 3, 4, 5, 6 legs. 2 legs is what you start with. And let's just say you have one friend in mind who wants to walk with you. They want to do this with you. You know that they're committed. They're in it for the long haul. And let's just say that you put them into position 1. And then let's just say position 2, you don't have somebody who's walking towards you, but you've built your first leg up to close to 2,000 and you need a second leg, but there's no number 1s at this stage, not yet. So what you can actually do is you can create an account for a close family member, a friend, somebody you can trust, where you have an agreement that you can actually transfer them out of that position in the future. And I'll talk a little bit about account transfer in the next strategy. But basically, the account gifting is the easiest additional move that you can do. I think that door's locked. Can you unlock that for us? So account gifting, easiest move that you can do when you are the enroller of someone. And let's just say you've got, hey Valentina.
Hi, how you going?
Good.
Good.
Are you staying or do you want to grab your stuff?
I can't stay, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's all right. Yes, that would be brilliant.
Sorry, you're in the middle of
a business
meeting. I
meeting.
was meant to come earlier, I just got caught up. I'll make it another time.
I can drop it over.
Okay, cool. See you in the morning sometime.
Yes.
Yeah. Bye, see you.
So when there's, let's just say enrollment 2, let's just say you personally enrolled enrollment 2, and you want to get position 2 up to a Premier, and they need 2 personally enrolled executives. So what you can do is you can just gift the enrollment of enrollment 2, so you can get them to Premier. So that's as easy as just purely just emailing doTERRA and just sending emails to placements@doTERRA.com, just with the current enroller, the current sponsor, and then the new enroller and the new sponsor details, and that will be gifted over. So the only thing that you need to consider when doing an account gifting is that position 2 person. They need to be 110% committed to sharing and building doTERRA. If you go around just gifting anybody to anyone, then basically it might come back to bite you in the bum. So you want to make sure they're 110% committed. And I also wanted to discuss like why you would do this, because sometimes there can be confusion as to why you would gift someone, if at all. Some people have a very strong belief that you never gift, but I think you're shooting yourself in the foot a bit, because by helping others rank advance, you rank advance, and also you showing that you believe in them and you're supporting them. Encourages them to keep sharing. So, if you can see that they're sharing and they're 110% committed and they want to hit Premiere, for example, then and you have an enrollment underneath them, and you've established a relationship with this person in position 2, enrollment 2, position 2, then yeah, by all means, absolutely do that gifting, because it's only going to help you. It's only going to help you rank advance. It's only going to help you in the long term, because this person will continue to build and grow, and you're going to reap the benefits long term. And also, it's lovely to help people. Yeah, that's the one thing that I really love about this business is, how can you question the ethic of it when by helping others, we help ourselves, and it's all just constantly reaching out and helping each other. Benefits everyone. So it's a beautiful thing. So account transfer. So an account transfer is when you transfer someone brand new into an existing account. So this is the strategy that I was talking about with, say, creating an account in your mum's name. And let's just say she's position 1. Because you're doing some workshops, you haven't met one person yet. You haven't met a committed builder or sharer at this stage, and you want to put somebody who's going to be a committed sharer or builder into that position. But you're still going out, you're doing your workshops, you're aligning people, and you're bringing that person, into your life. Have your mum in that position, and then you can transfer this new person that comes along, brand new. They need to be brand new. They can't have had a doTERRA account before, and they can simply move into that position 1. This strategy can also be used, and we're talking about this when we touched on the success strategy, and the accountability and expectations of when somebody says, I'm a number 1 or I'm a number 2. Or I'm actively sharing, or I want to build the business, and push comes to shove, they want to drop off 100 PBLRP and they want to move on. That's another opportunity where you can talk about an account transfer. Refer to the success strategy and say, this is what we talked about. This is all cool. You can just use the product if you want. I'm happy to create an account for you. So that's an option that we do. We go, not a problem. We'll create another account for you, use up all your points, and make the transition as comfortable as possible for that that person that's in position 1. So the new person goes into that account through this process. So once you find this new person, you need an account transfer form. And it needs to be signed by the current account holder. So having that conversation with the current account holder is really important. And you can actually hold on to that account transfer form until you qualify someone who's brand new to go into that position. So you don't have to, as soon as you have that form, go panic, and then and just put anybody into that position. You want to actually make sure you put the right person into that position. We had an account transfer form for nearly a year, I think, at least 6 months. The ink was even starting to fade. But we held on until we found someone right to put into that position. And like I said before about the success strategy, we discussed that. So the signed account transfer form, it just needs to, once again, be sent to placements at doTERRA with the below text. I'd like to transfer new enrollee into the current position, always having the name and the ID. Then there's the attached transfer request form, and then the people, once again, who's requesting a change, you, and the wellness advocate to be moved is the new enrollee going into the current position. So that's that. Does anybody have any questions on that at all? No? And you just stay awake? I know it's very riveting stuff. Okay. So back to placement strategy. I'm only just going to touch on this because this is pretty far into the adventure, ungifting and exception requests. So it's a last resort and it can't be guaranteed to be approved. I've actually heard a lot of stories of cases where it doesn't get approved. And I suppose that all comes down to the justification and the reasoning why you're requesting the exception request. But basically, when you gift someone, like I was saying, is the easiest option to do the additional move of gifting an enrollership of somebody to help somebody move up through the ranks. If in an instance where you want to ungift, you have to go through this process. And this is why I say, make sure they are 110% committed and you're 110% sure that the gifting is the correct thing to do. It's basically, this is what gets used whenever there's something happening outside of policy. I'm just going to chat here. Wanda's late for the call. That's fine, Wanda. Thanks for joining us. The signatures of the 3 upline enrollment tree enrollers are required, and the signatures of the 5 upline sponsor trees are required. And this is where it gets a little complex. We used to actually physically do it. Now it has to be done with a tool called DocuSign, and it's free for the first 30 days. And basically you can just put the fields that people have to sign, you send it out, they electronically sign it. If they've got a smartphone, they can use their finger and sign the form. It's a lot easier now than what it used to be. And this is the method that doTERRA actually prefers, using DocuSign. But most important, it needs to be justified and needs to be good justification. Its intention needs to be not just for the benefit of yourself, but for the greater community moving forward. Sorry, it's going to come back. So, empowered success. Who's seen this? Anyone seen this? Don't know what it is? Okay. So, empowered success. Like I just touched on before, it's what's replacing share success. So you can get access to it through the doTERRA website under Our Advocates and Empowered Success. It's going to look really familiar because it's basically the same platform that was built by Natalie and Andy Goddard through Share Success, but now doTERRA has actually acquired it and they've got leaders on board to help improve it even more. So there's even more minds involved in the development of this platform, of this system that helps us show people how to live the product, share and build, and launch in others as well. So you have all of those guides which are available to download, along with some presentations and tools, etc. All on that doTERRA.com website, Our Advocates, Empowered Success. And this will look really familiar as well. So pipes, you guys might remember this from our launch day training. So preparing, inviting, presenting, enrolling, and supporting. It's exactly the same concept as Share Success. The manuals have just been redone. So you can start using those live guides now as with your new enrollees. Start using them, start using the new build guide and the share and the launch. They're all available. and our launch days are going to be built around this new empowered success as well. So empowered success, share success, it's okay if you continue to use share success in the meantime until you transition over. It's not something you just immediately need to just change over to. It's okay to transition in your own time as you've become familiar and comfortable. So Aussie versions of those, at this stage, I'm not sure, Kirsty. Quite possibly. I know they're working on versions for different countries that speak different languages and all that sort of stuff. I've found the Share Success platform, the Live, Share, Build, pretty universal. So like any English-speaking country can pretty much use it. It's more the classes, and when you're talking about kits and prices, things like that, that's probably when you need to look at Australian version. So Share and Invite and Teach and Enroll. So you've got the Natural Solutions class there and handout under Teach and Enroll on the right. Basically what we'd be doing there is just using our local empowerment kit instead of the Teach and Enroll. And then the Share and Invite, especially with the same dollar symbol, so the Share and Invite, once again, just using our local empowerment kit, that's kind of what we've got for our local market, and it's only $30. It's the best value from doTERRA with all the wild orange and all the invites and everything. So for those first two steps, continue to use your local empowerment kits, but then you Live, you Share, and you Build. Definitely be looking at using the empowered success manuals, and you've got the duplication cycle there. If there's a system there, and it's all been done for us, so it's nice and easy. We're really, really lucky that this is just a method that has been trialed and proven, and it works, and all we need to do is just download and use and share these forms and system. So I also wanted to chat a little bit about, sorry, I need to find my screen here. So convention, the main event and surrounds, this is just a copy of my calendar. So you've got Emotions Masterclass with Vanessa Jean and Amanda Porter, looking forward to that. The Silver and Above and Dr. Susan Lawton events on the Wednesday and the Thursday. So remember, if you do want to go to these additional trainings, you need to buy your tickets. You can find all the events and the tickets in our Sydney Convention group. Diamond Day, so this is obviously for diamonds and above, that goes from 9 till 11, I'm pretty sure. And then you've got the main event on Friday and Sunday. Sunday, One Tree, highly recommend this. If you can stick around on Sunday to get to One Tree, highly recommend going to that. So this is all just the latest and greatest training on how to share and build a business from other successful leaders. So highly recommend that. And then of course you've got the Gala as well, which we have some team going to, which is very exciting. Get all gowned up, suited up. Here's your agenda. You guys can go and look at that on the doTERRAeveryday.com.au website. Just wanted to touch on this. On Thursday from 2 to 6, you can actually go and register if you have the first release or early bird tickets. So anybody who bought tickets before November can go in and register between 2 and 6 on Thursday. And then you've got a bunch of other cool things with your sessions that are going on. There is, just note there, the product showcase and swag sales open. That is a little bit mayhem, the swag sales. Vicky and I have both seen how crazy some oily obsessed ladies can get with throwing elbows around and launching themselves at limited release bags and various paraphernalia. But yeah, let's hope that Australia's a little bit more. Australia might have more balance on or something like that, or might be a little bit more chilled out. So yeah, that's your first day Friday. Lots of good information and sessions, as well as the swag sales. And like I said, join that group, the Sydney Convention group, for a list of all the events that are going on around the convention, and also just staying up to speed leading up to the convention and through convention, because we'll be meeting up for lunch and dinner and various things like that, just trying to keep the group together as much as possible so we can all get to know each other and to stay connected. It's a beautiful thing, an opportunity to be able to do that all in the one place down in Sydney. So the last, one of the last things that I wanted to talk about, and the events leading up into March. So we do have Dr. Susan Lawton, who's coming to the Central Coast on March the 12th. And she's going to be talking about avoiding cancer recovery. Don't think that you need to have cancer or be recovering from cancer to go along or invite people to this. It's basically just a title. And this is kind of how we would title a lot of our events as well. And it's just to get certain people's attention. But this is all just about using essential oils for addressing health concerns and also maintaining health. And she will be talking about avoiding cancer and recovery as well, but she does in most of her trainings anyway, because that is something that she specializes in. She's a doctor, she knows what she's talking about, she's got lots of experience. So it is really a one-off opportunity to go see Dr. Sue on the Central Coast, because she most likely won't be coming back to the Central Coast ever again. So yeah, definitely get along. Tickets are $55, and please share that event on Facebook at least. Go to our Pure Oils page and share it from there. Share it with your group, share it with your friends. It'd be great. I've invited a bunch of people personally, as well as just putting up some flyers and posters and things like that all over the place. So get the word out there. So Spoiling Yourself in February promo, we're going to do this again, 20th to the 24th. And we've got all of that little slip and fly that goes in with the oils, doing the same oils again. We have discussed in the group amongst each other, possibly doing this quarterly rather than monthly, and also changing the content a little bit as well. As nice as it is to be automated, we need to look at making some of the content a little bit more engaging and maybe freshen it up a bit. So I'm going to make a small little tweak and get the people who posted the videos from our previous spoil promos to post them personally. And they can schedule them, and it just comes up a whole lot more engaging rather than a YouTube link. And everybody's interacting in the group. It's not just an automated thing that just ambles along. So yes, that is happening. The URL there is there as well. Facebook group, Spoil Yourself in February. Get along and join in on that if you want to invite people into it. It is a really easy way to share the oils with people to get an experience. Like, we continue to have really good feedback and success even in January, and even it being completely automated for this coming up. And sorry, I've just seen that opening line. We're doing this again in January, and we're doing it again in February. So we are doing it again in February. So February events and promotions, you guys may have seen that there isn't any crazy oil giveaways this month. We've got fractionated coconut oil as a product of the month, which is pretty cool for Australia. So you order on or before the 15th, 125 PV, you get the fractionated coconut oil. It's a US order, you get the tea tree or Melaleuca touch. So remember as well, with your the 100 for 100 promotion. This is for enrollments in January and February. It's not just January and February. So anybody who enrolled in January, you want to reach out to them in February and remind them about the 100 for 100 promo and how they can get themselves 100 free points, or in new users language, $130 approximately worth of product. So a great opportunity for you to follow up those people that you've enrolled in January, and then same with people from February and March. Reminder about Diamond Club, we've got our shiny Diamond Clubbers doing Diamond Club starting this month. And so, yeah, please do reach out to them and support them as much as possible, giving away free oils, getting their travel paid for. And then we've got our upcoming events down the bottom there that we've got at Pure Oils HQ in Wombrel. Fabulous. Renee's doing that on Thursday. And then we also have our Valentine's Day Make and Take, which has been a really fun and successful workshop in the past. We make a love elixir and EO202, which you're more than welcome to bring people along to if you're not doing EO202 yet yourself. Self-care make and take, I decided that I've got a lot of spray bottles and pump bottles and I need to use them. So I'm going to do a self-care make and take workshop, which will be super fun. And of course, aroma touch training. And as I do for most of our business meetings, I wanted to leave you with a little message of learnings and things that I'm actually working on constantly. I'm reading Don Miguel's The 4 Agreements, which is a great book, really simple principles. And this is one that continues to come up for me and also for other people in the business. It's one of the things that, the no's that we were talking about earlier on, and not to take anything personally. So, you'll have people with beliefs and opinions and, the doubters, the people putting you down, might even be yourself. But you need to just remind yourself to not take things personally, and it just makes you stronger and it doesn't waver you in your direction and your beliefs and what you're focused on doing as well. So please take that little piece of wisdom from my friend Don Miguel, and I highly recommend having a read of it. It's a really easy read. It's based on shamanic beliefs and 4 principles. Good to remind ourselves. So that ends the meeting for this evening. And I'm up in the air whether we're going to do another meeting in March, given that it's so close to convention. Maybe we can have a meeting or just chat casually in passing or at lunch or at dinner, just about things, some ideas, some collaboration ideas, how we can work on perhaps pulling together for some more launch day training or leaders training. And also, Vicky and I were discussing something today just about free oils for sharing. So incentivizing people and encouraging people to share and giving them some oils for doing that. So that's something that we're going to look at doing. Awesome, guys. So if anybody has any questions, please feel free to take yourselves off mute. And you can also post anything in the chat as well. Otherwise, forever hold your sons. And you can always get hold of me anyway. I'm always here for any questions and support that you guys need.
Thanks, Byron. I really appreciate your time tonight. I'm going to sign off and everybody have a fabulous evening.
Awesome, Kylie. Thanks for joining us. Hope that cooking class went well.
Yeah, I didn't burn anything. The house is still intact. Yeah.
Winning.
Winning.
Now for the taste test.
Yeah, I know. I've got some real critics here.
Oh no, a bit like
It's
the
all
scene
good.
from.
Hey, I didn't put coriander in tonight. They're safe. It's cool.
You
They've
prefer-
already joined. Yeah, they've joined the I Hate Coriander Club thanks to my one drop.
Oh no, I did
Yeah,
Did balance.
yeah, yeah. Love that. Yeah, I've got all my herbaceous oils now, but yeah, we're totally steering clear of coriander unless Mum's got a toothpick in her hand. But we're learning. We're learning. It's all good.
Yeah,
Thanks,
yeah.
guys.
No worries, Carly. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Byron. Thanks, everybody.
No worries, Tracy.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Byron.
No worries. Whoever's talking, I can. Ah, Lonnie.
It
Hey,
was me.
hey, how you
Hey.
doing?
I'm good, thanks.
Awesome. I'll reply to your message you sent to me.
Oh, yes. Cool. Awesome.
No worries. I'll get to it. I've just been frantic preparing for this and making dinner for the family. So
Yeah, I sent it and I was like, oh, crap, he's getting busy to do the meeting.
all good. All good.
Cool.
I'll have
Thank you.
some good tips for you. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll catch up soon.